Today we are going to identify lit elements and specify the type of conflict. So we're considering protagonist, antagonist, static and dynamic characters, and what's happening in the story. You would have filled this out last week, but if you didn't, I can help. Internal conflict is when the character is struggling with him or herself. You've put IC there, which would be your abbreviation for internal conflict. And then you're going to put person versus self right here. Down here, external conflicts. Internal conflicts, the only one is going to be person versus self, but all the rest are basically external conflicts. The one exception to this would be person versus supernatural, because you might have an internal conflict because there's a supernatural situation, whether it's religion or ghosts, or like in the K, the voodoo. That's the Obadiah is the bad thing is called Jumbi, and so Timothy's trying to get rid of that from the island. Okay, so now you know your 6 types of conflict. When we're reading this one, you will notice that it is from last week. I had some people do well. I had some people crash and burn. So let's figure out how to do this one. Whoops. Ronnie has won 2nd place in the science fair for the last 2 years, and Newton Robinson has taken 1st. Ronnie hated how Newton gloated. To gloat means to brag. Ronnie hated how Newton gloated and held those victories high over Ronnie's head. This year, Ronnie will stop at nothing to beat Newton. He has even enlisted the help of a Nobel Prize nominated scientist who was banished from the scientific community for his rogue experiments. Can Ronnie and his mad scientist partner win against the undefeated Newton at this year's science fair? So, first off, the main character, the protagonist, equals main characters. And the main character of this gig would be, you got it, Ronnie. R-O-N-N-Y. Okay, and I'm not sure why that's so small, so I guess better fix that before y'all have to deal with it. Okay, good. And then we'll just get rid of all that. Sorry, y'all have to watch me edit. Remember, if you just highlight your stuff, the line, it'll get rid of your line, and that'll be perfect. Okay, one more time. Let's go ahead and put it in. Did I use 24? Okay, good. And we'll just get rid of part of the line. Bam. Probably need to get rid of the rest. Who's our antagonist? Who is making Ronnie crazy? I want you to remember that the antagonist opposes O-P-P-O-S-E-S the M-I. I should tell you, M-I is main character. Just easier for me to write when I write in abbreviations. So, who is opposing Ronnie? Well, that would be old Newton. And so, write E-W-T-O-N Newton R. Okay, so the type of conflict, since Ronnie is a person and Newton is a person, um, the type of conflict is person versus person, obviously. That is how you do this sort of thing. When we read through this one, Ronnie's still our main character, but he is fighting against something else. So remember that this one is more of an internal conflict. Okay, and let's look at the next one. It is the year 1847, so this is about 15 years before, 15, 20 years before the Civil War begins in the United States. Hallie is tired of being treated as a second-class citizen. Hallie is a girl's name. As a married woman, she does not have the right to own property, and she has no legal claim to any money that she earns. Now, we're dealing with a historical precedent that doesn't come down without about 80 years worth of fighting, straight up fighting by Stanton, Mott, and eventually another gal that gets on a coin, Miss Anthony. Um, uh, but remember, who is going to be your main character? That's your protagonist. Is Hallie? She's married. Is she angry with her husband? Is he the one that's stopping her? Or is it something else? Then, when you're considering your conflicts, you have to decide if it's something else, what kind of thing is Hallie fighting against? If it's not Hallie against her husband, because he's not the specific entity stopping her from legally owning land, then you have to figure out which one of these it would be. When you get to the last one, there are multiple things going on here. That's why you saw it in a couple of different attendance forms last week. Janie's on a whitewater rafting trip. The guide has a heart attack. There are other passengers that have to come together to make things work. And, oh wait, there's also a bear on the shore. So there are multiple situations going on here. A, B, and C coordinate with A, B, and C in your conflicts. Think about them reasonably. If you need to pull a text box to go, she's fighting against whom here, then write about it. That's fine. Good luck. How do I unclick this?